and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham, and today I'm joined by Paul Bennett, Managing Director of Medallion Metals. Now, Paul, Medallion Metals, you've been very busy down at your Ravenslaw gold project, or the RGP, as you like to call it. Drilling across the project, it's been returning some pretty good results. No matter where you put the drill bit at the moment, it seems to be behaving pretty well. And behaving well also are the metallurgical test work that you've got going on down there. That's returning some pretty good results as well. And you've just spun out your nickel assets into a new ASX listed company called Nickel Search. We'll also talk about that. But let's kick off with the drilling that's going on at the moment. You've been hitting a few different targets at the RGP. Tell us which ones and what they're telling you.
Yeah, sure, Wally. Look, the focus of what we're doing is really around the drilling at the Ravenslaw gold project at present. When we raised the $12.5 million at the IPO in March, the intention was to get as much of that money into the ground as possible to expand RGP's existing resources and to push along the exploration of the regional targets. So we budgeted to do 30,000 metres of drilling at the Ravenslaw gold project. 26,000 of that would be in and around the Cundit Mining Centre, which is where we've got the almost 700,000 ounce of JORC compliant resource. And then another 4,000 metres at the regional targets, three targets in particular: Meridian, Old Greg and Ariel. So we're approximately 21,000 metres into that program. Most of it's been at the Cundit Mining Centre. A lot of the results have been coming out at the Gem Restored Prospect, at the Kaolin deposit, and at present the drill is located at the Harbour View deposit. So we're pretty excited to see the results come from there. That's where some of the best intersections we've seen historically have come from. And then last week we did make the announcement about the work done at the Meridian Prospect. That's 21 kilometres away from the Cundit Mining Centre. The highlight there was 5 metres at 11.4 grams gold. And then we had anomalous gold intercepts over a 700 metre strike length. So that's demonstrative of the Ravenslaw gold project being a district scale opportunity. So we're really pleased with those results. It just underlines how we've got a belt scale opportunity here and the dominant landholding down there at Ravenslaw.
Well, you're already so far into the original 30-odd thousand metres that you had planned. Does that mean the success that you're having? Are you looking at planning further drilling? Is that in the pipeline?
Yeah, ultimately we want to take the project resources at Ravenslaw to 1.5 million ounces. That's our aim, and that's not a number that we've just plucked out of thin air. There's a reason for that, and we think that if we can get to 1.5 million ounces, and then if you use the old rule of thumb that 50% of that will convert to mine plan, then that means 700,000 to 800,000 ounces of gold in reserve. That's 100,000 ounces of gold production per annum for 7 or 8 years. That, in our view, is a bankable, investable gold project in WA at the moment in this gold market. And so that's why we've set ourselves that objective. At the conclusion of this 30,000 metre drill program at Ravenslaw, we're optimistic that we'll be at or around 1 million ounces at the conclusion of that program, and we'll update the global resource estimate in the March quarter of 2022. And then there will be subsequent drilling after that to take us to that next level, attempt to get us there. Obviously, the results have been very encouraging. The lodes are open at depth, they're open along strike, and there's plenty of targets there now to follow up and to build that resource profile.
Well, your drilling results have been encouraging, and so have your metallurgical study results. So they've been showing you some good news as well.
Yeah, so the results that we put out 2 weeks ago were all historical work that's been done between 2005 and 2018. In total, 80 to 83 combination float and leach testing of the Ravenslaw Gold Project ores. And each of those process routes demonstrates that the we can achieve consistently high gold and copper recoveries in all of the deposits and through all of the weathering profiles. So that gives us a lot of confidence that these ore bodies can be commercialised in the future. And now we've engaged GR Engineering to assist us with what to do next. And it's looking at those results, confirming the preferred process route that we want to adopt when we rerun the feasibility study. And then after that, what additional test work do we need to do to be definitive about the metallurgical recoveries that we can expect at the project?
So you sound like fairly confident you'll be able to replicate those recoveries.
Yeah, very industry standard process routes. And we often draw this analogy. The mineralogy looks, in our view, to be almost identical to that of Deflector, Silver Lakes project. They've done a great job demonstrating to the market the value of that kind of asset. And that process route there is gravity, flotation, and then the leach of the float tail to make gold and silver doré. We think that we'll have something very similar to that. And this next round of test work is just to confirm that, and then provide us with estimates of the recoveries and the operating costs that we can then feed into the feasibility study.
All right, so the spin out of the nickel asset into Nickel Search. Now, was that just to allow you to concentrate on the gold aspects of your portfolio, or was it just it was just too good not to spin out?
Yeah, a couple of elements to this story, and I think you've touched on both of them. First and foremost, we do want to maximise the value of those nickel assets for our shareholders. And I think they were often either overlooked or perhaps even viewed as a liability associated with the historic Rav8 project. So our neighbours down at Ravenslaw, who were AML Minerals and are now subsequently Nickel Search, they had the eastern flank of the Bandalup Ultramafics, and we controlled the western flank of it. And these rocks are where Pickers Mather and Western Mining spent a lot of time and money in the 60s and 70s looking for nickel sulfides and nickel laterites. And they were quite successful in that endeavour, but it's never been the subject of a modern exploration program. So it made sense to bring together the two limbs of the belt. And that's what we did with the transaction with Nickel Search, put our nickel ground with their portfolio. And then they listed just on Monday this week, they raised $10 million. And we're pretty excited to see what $10 million deployed in that very prospective ground will yield in terms of new discovery. So that's how we maximise the value of those assets for our shareholders. And then it also enables us to then focus on the copper and the gold opportunity. So two legs to that story, but we've managed to get it done, and it's a great result.
All right, you'll have to give me the Nickel Search phone number so I can ring them up and have a chat with them too at some stage. Yeah,
they're pretty busy in there.
Well, Paul, I mean, that sounds like you've obviously got a fair bit on up there, especially at the RGP. I mean, as you were just sort of alluding to, spinning the nickel projects out really does let you concentrate on that project and bring that up to speed. So all we can do now is wait for more news to come out from Medallion Metals regarding the RGP. And when that does come out, we'll bring it to our readers and viewers here at the Roadhouse. But until that does happen, Paul Bennett, thanks for being part of the Roadhouse, and I hope to see you here again very soon.
It was a pleasure, Wally. Thanks for having me.